Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to the portfolio. Again, I want to thank everyone for supporting the channel. All the viewers, all the subscribers, immensely appreciate the support. For today's video, in response to a viewer on the channel, I thought I'd go over some high dividend ETFs that pay out monthly. If you guys have followed the portfolio over time, if you guys are familiar with the stock market, most stocks on the stock market pay out on a quarterly basis. That is, they pay dividend payments, cash payments to your account every 3 months. There are a number of stocks, different types of stocks, especially within the real estate investment trust type of category, as well as business development companies, closed-end funds that pay out monthly. But for other stocks, it's quite rare that a stock pays out a dividend on a monthly basis. Very rare for an ETF or exchange-traded fund to do that, to pay out monthly dividends. There are a few. As you see up on screen here, this is one of my favorite, SPHD. This has been in the portfolio since I established the portfolio about 2 years ago. But there are also some other very good alternatives as well. If you don't necessarily want to jump into an Invesco fund or a high dividend, low volatility fund like this one is. If you go to the bottom, just to quickly detail this stock here, again, I've put out dedicated videos talking about SPHD, one of my favorite high dividend, low volatility funds in general, but also one that pays out dividends on a monthly basis. You can see that this stock here screens some of the highest stocks with regards to dividend yields on the S&P 500 and then filters out some of the least volatile names, least volatile stocks that don't have big price changes in that stock. And then those stocks are selected to be included in this fund. Take a look at the dividend yield in the middle here. Excellent dividend yield, 4.38%. PE ratio is somewhat higher than other types of funds in this category that don't pay out monthly, 22.81. It's a large fund with 2.61 billion market cap for the fund currently. If we go to the top here, there's also some ability to get some capital gains as well with this type of fund. Typically, high dividend yielding ETFs don't appreciate or don't have the growth that other types of ETFs do. But you can see here a very respectable 81.14% over the past 5 years of trading. And again, you get monthly dividends that can get increased exposure to compounding for the longer term as well, as opposed to a stock that's paying out every 3 months. This pays out every month, so you can reinvest those dividends and get compounded interest a little bit quicker than you would with a quarterly dividend payment. The only drawback with this fund, with all the funds actually we'll talk about today, is that they have rather high expense ratios. A good longer term stock, for example, VOO here, a Vanguard fund, this has an expense ratio of 0.04. So very, very low. SPHD unfortunately has an expense ratio of 0.30. So many times higher than VOO. But again, you have that monthly dividend payment, so you can get those payments, reinvest those to compound interest over time as well, which will make up for a lot of that exposure with regards to higher fees in this fund. Again, expense ratio 0.30 with a lot of Vanguard funds, like this fund here, VOO, one of my favorite Vanguard funds, with expense ratios of 0.04%. So quite a large number of fees associated with these funds. If you guys don't want to jump into this particular fund, there's also alternatives, including a couple of wisdom tree funds here. This one here is a U.S. large cap dividend fund. If you take a look at the bottom, you can see that this fund tracks a dividend weighted index of 300 of the largest U.S. companies that pay dividends on a regular basis. As you can see in the middle, dividend yield 2.893%, so not as good as SPHD. PE ratio a little bit better, 19.9. Also a very large fund, 1.97 billion. Take a look at the graph up on top. You can see as well there is an opportunity for some capital gains over time as well. Over the past 5 years, this fund is up 75.53%. A little bit more risky alternative would be this fund here, Wisdom Tree U.S. small cap funds. Much like the last type of selection basis, only this is using small cap stocks from the US. Dividend yield a little bit better, 3.9%. PE ratio is higher, 26.97. Very large fund as well, 2.15 billion. And you can see here over time there is some opportunity for some capital gains as well, 83.86% over the past 5 years. Then there are some other higher yielding funds as well. A Global X Super Dividend US Equity Fund here. You can see this is tracking equal weighted index of 50 high dividend, low volatility securities. So much like SPHD, dividend yield 7.134%, PE ratio 21.499. These are much smaller ETFs here, 399 million for market cap. If you take a look at over the longer term performance, there is some opportunity for capital gains as well. But again, this is not going to be as good as the growth oriented ETF. And this is another one here just from US stocks. Excuse me, this one was from US stocks. This is from international stocks. Same sort of selection basis, only this is taking from global securities. Good dividend yield as well, 9.54%, 18.681% for dividend, or excuse me, 18.681 for PE ratio. Market cap less than 1 billion, 943.32. If we take a look at the performance as well, 3 months, 1 year, and 5 years, this is definitely not as good as the others, but still some opportunity for growth over the longer term as well. 42.38% over the past 5 years. With regards to expense ratios, DIV, SDIV, both of these stocks with regards to the Global X ETFs have dividend ratio, or excuse me, expense ratios of 0.45 and 0.58 respectively. DES here, the Wisdom Tree US Small Cap, as well as DLN have expense ratios right around 0.38. So all of these stocks have higher expense ratios than typical Vanguard funds like VOO, but still they have very good performance, and over the longer term you can compound your dividend payments as they are paid out quarterly, or excuse me, as they are paid out monthly instead of quarterly. So those are some very good funds. Again, let's go through all of those for a recap. SDIV, DIV, a couple Global X ETFs, DES, DLN, a couple Wisdom Tree funds, and SPHD, one of my favorite dividend funds overall, and definitely one of the best stocks in the portfolio with regards to dividend payments. Again, there are other types of dividend paying securities, real estate investment trusts, REITs, business development companies, closed-end funds, but those typically have a little bit more risk. And with these types of funds, you get all of the benefits from an ETF, a number of different companies. You get essentially exposure to a number of different market segments. You're diversified, and over the longer term, you can take those dividend payments and compound the interest by reinvesting the dividends. So those are some of my favorite dividend income stocks with regards to monthly paying ETFs. Let me know if you guys have better ones on your list. Maybe you have those in your portfolio already. If you guys do, please let me know in the comment threads down below. And again, if you guys enjoyed the video series, if you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. If you guys have any good video ideas, please let me know. Always looking for new stocks to research and put into the portfolio. So until next video, we'll see you then.